My name is Patricia Hepburn-Moody, and I am the patient navigator for the Beatrice Welters Breast Health and Navigation Program. I would implore you all to look up who Ms. Welters is at your leisure. She was the ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago years ago, and she had breast cancer. She came to NYU for her care and found that the services that was rendered to her was exceptional to the point where she and her husband wanted to donate millions of dollars to start this program, and that's what she did. So hence the Beatrice Welters Breast Health and Navigation Program. She wanted everyone, including those who does not have the same means, to have the same quality of care, not just here at NYU, but through HHCs and other hospitals also. So our program, even though we are under the banner of NYU, we work with all the area hospitals, the Memorial Sloans, Mount Sinai, the HHCs. So we work with all of those area hospitals to make sure that all our patients get the care that they need with or without insurance. We don't care about immigration status. We don't do any of that. That's not our wheelhouse. So we're out of that. We just want to make sure people from screening to survivorship, that is our job. I'll talk to mostly women. However, men get breast cancer too. I do not want the men to feel like we are not talking to them. I am. Men can get breast cancer because men have breast tissue also. Again, we want to inform people about the available resources that our program and other programs can provide for any diagnosis and treatment. What is cancer? Is disease in which a malignant cancer cell forms. So, as you can see in the three pictures, the first one is early detection. We're going to say, because there's 4 stages. So the first one is probably between a 0 and 1, probably 2, and there's just one malignant cell there, which can be handled through various ways where they can either take it out, they can take the whole breast. There's a variant of things that they can do for that one cell, and you're 100% cured at that point. The middle one represents how that one cell starts to grow, and that can be stages maybe 2, the beginning of 3, where that one cell decided to grow and now it's expanding. That may need more than just a biopsy. It will need to be surgically removed and some treatment, meaning radiation or chemotherapy. But everything depends on the person. And the third one is how it's malignant. And now it has spread possibly to other parts of your body. This is primarily at stage 3 to 4, where your diagnosis is more difficult. The treatments are definitely chemotherapy and or radiation, and of course, surgery. So it truly depends on what stage you're in. We want to get the women in the 0 to 1 or 2 stages, but again, the things do happen. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women except for skin cancer. The American Cancer Society estimates for breast cancer in the United States for 2020, 276,480 new cases of invasive breast cancer was diagnosed in women. And when we say invasive, we're talking that stages 3 to 4, who is diagnosed. Again, we want to get everybody in those early stages where it's between 0 and like maybe the beginning of 2. In recent years, the frequency with which women of color is diagnosed with breast cancer has increased. This is a constant, unfortunately. Women of color, it seems like they get breast cancer more because it's caught in the late stages. However, white women get breast cancer at a higher rate than Black women, but they do go to the doctor. They are diagnosed early. Black and Hispanic women are diagnosed in later stages. That is the problem. We need to go to the doctor earlier. We just can't keep putting things off. The risk factors or anything that can increase or decrease a person's chance of getting a disease. 98 of women have no indelible risk factors, meaning don't think just because your breast, there's nothing wrong with them, they look fine, that you can't get breast cancer. It doesn't mean that at all. You don't have any people in your family with breast cancer, doesn't mean that you cannot get it. It doesn't mean that. It means that anyone can get breast cancer, regardless of your family dynamic, regardless if your late aunt had it or not. You can get it also. We look at first degree relatives first, meaning your mother and your aunts and your father's mother and her sisters. We look at both sides of the family if that information is available to see where it was the breast cancer in your family. Now, this goes for any disease, actually, when they try to look for risk factors within a family dynamic. So just because your great aunt on your father's side had breast cancer 20 years ago does not exclude you from not having breast cancer. Main risk factors are race and ethnicity, certain inherent genes. People have breast cancer in their family and they just have that gene that they're susceptible for it, and there's nothing we can do about that but cure it early. Family history, breast density. Breast density means when they do the exam, they cannot see through the breast. So they will say, come back and let's do a diagnostic ultrasound where they can look in the breast. And sometimes they'll say, we'll do an MRI because they saw something on that diagnostic mammogram. They want to do an MRI. That's like the third step if needed. And if there is something found, they'll do a biopsy. So everything is a step. And does that mean you have cancer? No, it does not. It means that there is maybe a cyst. And I'm talking from personal experience because I went through all of that. I had the mammogram, I had the ultrasound, then I had the MRI, then I had the biopsy. The biopsy said that I only had a cyst. They drained it. They said that you're fine. We'll watch you in 6 months. You're going to come back and do the process all over again. So it truly depends. So when the doctor says, I want you to get a biopsy, don't think that's like the end of the world. Don't think that you have cancer. It can just be a cyst, and that can be removed also. Certain benign breast conditions, again, cysts, starting your menstrual cycle before the age of 12. Some studies have shown that girls who started before 12 has a higher likelihood of getting breast cancer, but that's another study that fluctuates. Hormone therapy after menopause was something that was going on years ago, and it still is to a certain extent. Science has gotten so much better that hormone replacement therapy, a lot of women who was on that, I'm going to say maybe 20, 30 years ago, all of those women had breast cancer because they was taking hormone replacement therapy for menopause. That study has been ongoing, but science has gotten so much better where they have made new medicines so you're not susceptible for breast cancer for taking a hormone replacement because of menopause. But again, that's something that you would have to consult with your doctor. Alcohol intake is big, obesity, and limited exercise. And not having children is one of those risk factors that your breasts will remain denser because you're not producing milk for an infant. So that's another risk factor. And gender. Again, men can have breast cancer too because men have breast issues. What can you do to lower your risk? Maintain a healthy weight. Everything is exercise. We can't get away from that. Limit alcohol intake. I think everybody should partake in that, and limit menopause hormone use. This is another thing. Again, you got to talk to your doctor about your menopause and the use of hormones. I did not want to take an HRT because my mother had breast cancer and my aunt had breast cancer. So that was one of those things I was like, I don't want to take any hormones. Yes, menopause is kicking my butt and it's awful, but I needed to do something. So I talked to my GYN and we started talking about the new therapies that's out. She suggested a patch and my menopause went away, but she is checking me constantly for any breast issues. And of course, I'm checking myself because I do my self breast exams. But so far, so good. It's been maybe a year now, and I don't have any problems. So it truly depends. It's something that you need to talk to your doctor about. Here we go with breastfeeding. When it comes down to breast cancer, what is cancer screening? We're going to screen you for cancer. When you are age 40 is when you should start. However, if there's a family history, you can start earlier. You have to tell your GYN because everything has to go through your GYN to get the proper testing that you don't have to pay for out of pocket, where your insurance will pay for it. So cancer screening is looking for cancer before you have any symptoms. Let's say you're age 40. At your GYN, the doctor will do a clinical breast exam where if there's something there, like something that if you were doing your self breast exams at home and you felt something, you would point that out at that time to your GYN doctor. And they will say, okay, I'm going to schedule you for a mammogram. You'll go through the steps at that point. You can go and get a mammogram, and that can be the end of it. They'll say, just go back and do your mammogram in a year. But if there is something there, again, they'll go through the steps. The mammogram, the ultrasound, the biopsy, etc., etc. So it truly depends. Self-breast exams, clinicals, mammograms, the whole gamut. Women should have a clinical breast exam every 3 years, starting at age 20, and every year at the age of 40. And women 40 to 69 should have it on a yearly basis. And by the time you're 70, it truly is a big question mark because at this point, the doctors, they'll do your mammogram. That's not a problem, but they look at your lifestyle and say, if she has cancer, she may not survive a surgery or something so extreme that maybe we should just monitor her cancer. By the time you're 70, there's different factors that are brought in because of your age. And it truly depends. You can be a 70-year-old who is walking the streets like a 50-year-old, and you can tolerate that surgery and whatever therapy go along with it. But it is an individual thing by the time you're 70. It's totally individual. There is no screening for men. However, men can do self-breast exams. I want the men to do it also so they can understand what they are feeling. Who should be screened? Women should know how their breast normally feels and report any changes to their doctor. And again, with the steps, because of family history or genetics, abnormals is BRCA1 or BRCA2 increases the chances of women getting breast and ovarian cancer. And I want people to understand that breast and ovarian cancer are sisters. If you get breast cancer, you can get ovarian cancer also. It just happens, or vice versa. So if you had or have ovarian cancer, the doctor will be looking at your breast also because there's such a large connection between the two. So for self-breast exam, we're going to look in the mirror. You're going to look at your breast. Your breasts aren't supposed to be identical. They are different in size, just like your feet. One foot is larger than the other foot. So you don't ever think that there's something going on because one breast is slightly larger than the other. This is what you're going to do. You're going to put your hands in the air when you get home, and you're going to check your entire chest. Again, one breast will be larger than the other. And when you're doing this, you're looking for any dimpling. When I say dimpling, anywhere on your chest that looks like it's being pulled inward, including your nipple, anything. On the side, on the top, on your chest area, anything that looks like it's being pulled in. And for the clinical, the doctors will always start under your arm because your lymph nodes are under your arm. I want you to think of your lymph nodes as like the highway, like a super highway, because if there's any cancer within the breast and it's stage 3 to 4 and it becomes malignant, it will go through your lymph nodes under your arm. Your lymph nodes go to all of your other organs in your body. So you want to get it before it gets on the major highway. That's why we try to get you in 0 to 2 max before any major issues. So the doctor will start under your arm, feeling for anything that feels abnormal, meaning feels hard like a rock or anything like that. So when you do your self-breast exams, I want you to understand that your breast will feel like cottage cheese. It's going to feel lumpy. It's supposed to feel like that. However, it's not supposed to have rocks. So that's the difference. If you feel something like a rock, that is something that you should tell your doctor. So the doctor, after they go from your underarm, they'll come across your breast. Now you can do it up and down, all the way across, or you can do it circular. It's up to you when you do your self breast exams. But go in as hard as you can with your three fingers, with the balls of your three fingers. Go in as hard as you can and feel for anything that feels hard, like a rock. You just have to bypass the cottage cheese filling. You have to bypass that and feel for anything that feels hard. Now, when you do this, if you're still on your menstrual cycle, do not do this while you're on your menstrual cycle. Do it 7 days after your menstrual cycle. And the reason for that is because during your menstrual cycle, your breast swells up somewhat. They are a little irritated. And nobody wants to be doing all that to themselves on their menstrual cycle. 7 days after your menstrual cycle is when you should be doing your self breast exams. So as you're doing this, if you feel anything, remember that spot. So when you do it the following month, because you're going to do it every month, go back to see if it's still there. And if it's still there, that same rock is in the same space, go to your GYN and tell them, listen, this has been here for 2 months, 3 months, however you go, and it's not going away. They can feel it also, and they will give you the referrals for the next steps. He's doing with both hands, but you as an individual, you'll be doing it with one hand because you have to have your hand behind your head. You can be laying down, you can be standing up, again, with your three fingers, either up and down or in a circular manner. Most important to remember that all women are at risk of getting older and have risk factors. Breast cancer is a problem in all of our communities, and you have to know your risk. When I say know your risk, meaning your family history. Who has what in the family? Because a lot of these diseases are hereditary, and breast cancer is one of them. Get screened. Know what's normal for you. Breast sometimes will tell you if there's something going on. If there's any dimpling, alert your doctor. Should not be happening. If there's any fluid coming out of your nipples and you are not breastfeeding, that's an issue. And these are the things that you should look at and consult your doctor. A lot of things are changing in our world. So if you find a doctor that blows you off because, something is either coming out your nipple or your skin is like an orange on the outside and they just say, oh, it's nothing, it's a rash, go to someone else. Please don't ever be afraid to leave that doctor and go to someone else if you feel your questions aren't being addressed properly. And make healthy lifestyle changes. This is all of my information. Again, you are your first doctor. You know when something isn't right, when you're not feeling 100%. And breast cancer is one of those things that can be picked up early if you just do your own exams and make sure you talk to your doctors when you do feel something. And if you are unsure, you can always contact us. If you want to go to a particular hospital and the doctor finds something, you can always call us and we will help navigate you through the system. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month or Breast Cancer Screening Month. So our timing was perfect. If you are waiting to get your mammogram, this is a good time to go ahead and do it. It's a good reminder to go ahead and get that scheduled. What does it mean when you say metastatic breast cancer? Is that breast cancer that's spread?
Correct. Actually spread to other organs. It's difficult. Everybody's different. Let me say that first. Everybody's different. So they can only treat one cancer at a time because it's just going to be overwhelming for your body. So they try to treat the root first. So if the root is breast, they want to treat that first. Then they'll go to the next, then to the next. And it depends on what you can tolerate. And it's so many variables. You want to get it before it's metastatic. Again, once it gets on the highway, it can go anywhere.
It can travel.
It can go anywhere in any of your organs, including your bone.
Which is why early detection is so important. Is there any different process for people who have breast implants when they get mammograms, or is it just the same thing?
It's the same thing, but they have to use a different method. So you always have to
tell them that you have that. Great reminder to get your mammogram if you have been putting it off. It's worth the discomfort to know what's going on, to catch things early.